Hey guys, welcome to Vlogmas Day 3. Today I am doing today I was going to do my haul if I had my order. Because in yesterday's video I went on like this 15-minute rant about my order from Chapters that was in Corner Brook it was in Corner Brook like 8:30 last Wednesday. So like a week ago today. And it was in Corner Brook, which is like 3 hours away from where I live, for like 5 days. Monday morning, it was shipped to, I'm not going to say where it is because it's really close to me. And like I said in yesterday's video, some people might be a little bit creepy and try to track me down. I'm not saying all of you would do that. Just, you never know, someone could be watching this and get the idea. But, yeah. Monday morning at like 7 o'clock, it was shipped to a place that's like 20, 25 minutes away from my house. And it's still not here. Okay. In yesterday's video, I said that if it wasn't here by today, dinner time, which is around like 12 o'clock-ish for me, I was going to call them and tell them either tell me where my order is so I can go pick it up or ship it to me and bring it to my house like right now. But I'm going to make an exception today because, and probably tomorrow and Friday as well, but I'm making an exception today because if you live in Newfoundland, because it's like this for like almost all of Newfoundland, I think, the weather is very, very bad. It's very gross out today. Like the weather is horrendous. I will say I do love snow, and like I just love like literally walking in it and like the crunch from like all the snow. And I love how nice it looks outside. Like, it's so pretty to me. And, like, it gets me, like, super excited for Christmas. Because, like, the Christmas tree is up. There's snow on the ground. I'm in all Christmas mood. So, that's what I do love about the snow. I do love the snow. But it was so bad out today. Now, I usually like going for rides. Like, in the car. Even if it's just, like, a 5-minute ride to work. From work to my house. Or from my house to work. Because it's only, like, a 5-minute drive. Even driving from my house to work, which like I said is only 5 minutes, I love that. I love going for rides, just listening to music, especially this time of year, listening to Christmas music. It's so fun. So much fun for me. But I was literally, and like usually when I'm in the car, like on a ride, even if it is like a 5-minute drive, I'm living my life. Like I'm having the time of my life, like listening and like dancing along to the music. And if I'm by myself in the car, singing along to it. Yeah, I love it. But I got called into work this morning because one of the girls couldn't come in for her shift. So that was all right. I didn't mind that. So I went in this morning, and on the way home at 3 o'clock, I left work. On the way home, I was like, literally the entire ride, the roads were covered in snow. I mean, like covered, like an inch of, like probably more than an inch of snow on the road. The entire drive, like on the way home, I was like, I just want to be home right now. I don't want to be on this road any longer. I want to be home. I want to be home reading, whatever, looking at TikTok. I don't care. I just want to be home off the roads. And like that never happens. Like I said, I love being like driving on the road, like going for rides and stuff like that. Like I love it. But yeah, anyway, I can understand today because it's not fit outside. Like I said, I love the snow, but like it's not fit outside. Like even when I was at work, like if there were no customers or whatever today, like a few times today actually, I would open the door just to look outside and I would get smacked in the face with all the snow coming in or falling down, whatever. So I could understand why my order isn't here today because like I said, it's very bad outside. Like if you live in Newfoundland, you probably understand because I think it's like this for almost all of Newfoundland, if not most of it. But yeah, I can understand why it's here today, so I'm going to make an except why it's not here today, I meant to say. I can understand why my order isn't here today. And the weather is supposed to be this bad from today up until like Friday or Saturday, apparently. So if it's like this tomorrow and Friday, I'm not expecting my order to come either one of those days. So as long as the weather's like this, I'm gonna make an exception for my order. But like if the weather was like not bad yesterday, like it was, like if the weather was like yesterday, it wasn't bad. Like it should have been here yesterday. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into a rant again like I did yesterday, because I probably repeated so many things so many times, and my apologies, like I said. But yeah, I'm gonna make an exception today. I'm not gonna call them and be like, "Hey, where's my order?" Because I mean, it's bad outside, and I myself would not even want to be on the road. I literally said to my dad on the way home from work, I would not want to be driving on these roads. Like, it's not fit outside. So I'm going to make an exception today, and tomorrow, whenever, anytime the weather is like that outside, like this bad, I'm going to make an exception. Because, like, it's bad outside. It's not fit. I understand. So, but if it's nice out tomorrow, I'm going to, like, at least, not nice, but, like, half decent, and not as bad as this tomorrow. I'm going to, if it's not here, I'm going to call them and be like, "Hey, where's my order?" But anyway, I'm going to shut up now, because if I don't stop talking now, I'm going to keep going on a rant like I did yesterday. And if you guys want to hear my whole rant, you guys can watch yesterday's video, because it's literally the first 15 minutes of the video, instead of me saying all of that again in today's video. Anyway, I was going to do that today, but my order still isn't here yet. So fingers crossed it will be here before this weekend comes, before Saturday. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping, I'm praying. But yeah, whenever I do get that order, I'm going to do one collective haul. I'm supposed to be going shopping on Friday, so I might wait anyways until Friday. Whether I get my order tomorrow or this isn't going to happen, but if I get it tonight, apparently I am, not apparently, but I might be going shopping on Friday. So whether I get my order by then or not, I think I'm just going to wait until Friday to do one big collective haul with the order, the stuff that I got like last week when I went shopping, which is in a box down here, and the stuff if I buy anything on Friday. So I think that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, today I'm going to be showing all the books on my December TBR, or my December hopefuls. I used to call it, I post these on TikTok. I have like 7 TikTok accounts, and I have one account that's called Brie.reads with a Z at the end. Every month, at the beginning of every month, I will post a reading wrap up for the month before, and in a TBR or hopefuls video for that month coming. So like if it's like for November just ended like 3 days ago. On I think it was December 1st. On Monday I posted it. I posted a little reading wrap up for November, so all the books I've read in November. It was only one, which is very sad. But anyway, moving on. And then after that, I posted a December hopefuls video or TikTok where I just showed. I usually try to stick to 5 books, and I will post all 5 of those books, and I'll name it December hopefuls. I used to do I used to call it a December TBR, or like for every month, but I switched to calling it hopefuls now, because hopefuls mean like books that you are hoping to get around to and hoping to read during that month. And like whenever I did post TikToks or whatever about like my hopefuls, like my TBR for that month, I usually never stuck with it, and most of the books on that TBR, I either never got around to it or just never bothered to read them. You know what I mean? So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to call it TBR anymore. I'm going to call it hopefuls, because that just sounds more accurate. Books that I'm hoping to get around to. If not, I'm not surprised. So I usually try to stick with 5 books each month. This month I'm sticking with 6, because I will show you guys and talk about that in a minute. But yeah. I usually try to stick with 5. I usually don't even read half that much. Like I said, last month's reading wrap up for November, I only finished 1 book, which was very sad. And that was The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. It was pretty good. I think that's what it was called. But yeah, ever since then, I've been stuck on 1 book, which is very sad. And I'm in a massive reading slump, and I'm trying to get out of it. I'm slowly but surely getting out of it, though. So that's good. But yeah, usually I stick with 5 books for my hopefuls video, and most of the time I never read half that many. I might read like 2 or 3. That's it. So yeah, that's why I call it hopefuls, because it's more accurate books that I'm hoping to get around to, but I probably won't. So anyway, I'm just going to jump right into it. I'm done rambling. I feel like I ramble a lot. Like at the beginning of like every single video, I ramble, and I need to stop that. But anyway, first I'm going to start with this. I'm reading. I don't do this because, okay, I'm currently reading 2 books at once, and probably for the rest of this month, or at least up until Christmas, I will be reading 2 books. The reason for that, and I never do this because I feel like if I read 2 books at one time, I will get really confused, especially if they're similar genres, like if they're both romances. I'll usually get like super confused. Like I'll mistake one character for this book. Like say I'm reading The Unhoneymooners, which I've already read. The Unhoneymooners and what's another romance? Book Lovers, which again I've already read. I might get one character from The Unhoneymooners and mistake them for being in Book Lovers. And I might get them mixed up, especially if they're like similar genres. But yeah, that's why I usually try to stick with 1 book at a time, because I feel like, what if I mess up? I mean, it's not a big deal, but like I'm afraid I'll mix up 2 of the books and like mistake one character from this book and like mix them up. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making sense here, but anyway, the reason I'm reading 2 books at one time is because I'm reading this book. This is a advent calendar romance book. So basically what you do, you read, now some people cut off these and use them as bookmarks, which are really cute. But I'm not going to do that because they're on both ends. And like, it's supposed to match the book, you know? So I'm not going to do that. But they are very cute, and they would be cute bookmarks. But anyway, this is a advent calendar romance book. So what you do is, obviously I've already started it. I started it on December 1st, which was Monday. But what you do is, all of the chapters are like sealed, like this. And you have to use like a letter opener or whatever to open them. And so every day in the month of December, or up until Christmas or Christmas Eve, whatever, 24 chapters to open before Christmas. You open up the chapter and you just read that chapter, 1 chapter a day, every day until Christmas. So far the book is really good. I am loving it. I was going to read, I have 2 of these actually. I have this one and then I have the other one. I can't remember what it's called, but it's by the same author, I think. Sophie Jo Main. This is called Secret Santa, by the way, by Sophie Jo Main. But I was going to read the other one because I feel like that one sounded more interesting to me. But I mean, this did sound interesting, but I was going to read the other one because I can't remember what the other one's about, but it's something to do with like a heart defect, I think, something like that, and it sounded really interesting and it sounded really good. So I was going to read that one, but I couldn't find it, so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to read this one instead because I mean, it's an advent calendar romance and I wanted to read one of them anyway, so I guess I'm going to have to read this one, which I'm happy I am because so far it's really, really good. I'm loving it so far. So, yeah. It's really good so far, and I'm loving it. I already said that. Whatever. But, yeah. Love it so far. I'm I'm also going to read the back of all of these, by the way. I probably don't even need to, but I am. And so the back of this one says, when you come from a family like mine, you have everything you need to be happy. Freedom, money, the ability to travel. I'm at a great university. I love my apartment, and I have the best roommate in the whole world. But I'm still missing something important. Passion. I think I'm going to give it all up. For what? For whom? I don't know, but this association for students that I've joined could change all of that. In a few days, my whole life is turned upside down. I didn't expect such a gift for Christmas. I expected Romeo even less in his eyes and mine. Will I be able to tell him who I really am? This one also sounded really good, and I was very excited to read this, but like I said, I wanted to read the other one just a little bit more, because like anything with like, I love any kind of books with like pregnancy, or like about like people like in the hospital, like miracles. Those are the types of books I like to read. Obviously, I like to read any kind of book. Like, I'm down to read any kind of book, no matter the genre or anything like that, like what it's about. I don't care. But yeah, I love any kind of books that involve like miracles or pregnancy, stuff like that. So yeah, I was gonna read this one next year for Christmas. I wasn't going to read 3 books at one time. That was not going to happen. But I was going to read this one next year for Christmas and read the other one this year. But I couldn't find the other one, so I was like, I'm just going to read this one, because this is probably just going to be just as good, if not better. So far, it's living up to the hype. I haven't heard much about this. I've seen it on TikTok a couple of times. But so far, I'm loving it. So, yeah, I can't wait to read more of this and the rest of this month. So, yeah, loving it so far. Now on to my current read. It's not a Christmas book, because I usually start reading Christmas books like in November 1st. So, this is my current read. This is the book. I'm going to tell you guys now. Hold on. Book Mooring. I'm gonna look it up and tell you guys like when I started this book. Okay, so my last 3 reads, I'm reading this one now, and the 2 I read before this one were The Perfect Son by Frida McFadden and The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. I started The Perfect Son on October 19th. I finished it on November 3rd. I started The Death of Mrs. Westaway on November 3rd. Finished it on November 15th. I started this on November 16th, and I'm still not done. Like, literally 2 weeks from yesterday. In like a week and like 6 days. It'll be in a month since I started this book. And I pray, like, if I don't have this book done by then, something is wrong. Like, it's not a bad book. It's a Chicken Soup for the Soul book, and I love those books. But, like, why is this taking me so long? Why am I asking you guys that? Anyway. But yeah, I'm loving this book, but, like, it's taking me longer than it needs to. And that I was hoping to. Like, I love books like these, like the little short stories. Like, they're so cute. And this is one of the best ones I've read so far. But why is it taking me so long? I'm asking you guys, like, you know the answer to that. But yeah, I need to ask myself, why is it taking you so long to read this book? But yeah, I'm over halfway, so hopefully I'll have it done by this weekend. Fingers crossed. But like, it's a good book. It's not bad at all. I'm just like I understand that I have a job, and like I have to go to work, whatever. And like I am trying to clean up my room for Christmas because I have Christmas gifts to pick out and separate so I can start wrapping them. And I have like 3 weeks to do that. But like, it should not have taken me this long to read a book of short stories. Like, seriously. But it is good. I do love it. It's one of my favorite Chicken Soup for the Soul books I've read so far. But this one's Chicken Soup for the Soul. Mothers and Daughters by Amy Newmark. Like I said, it's good, but it shouldn't be taking me this long to read a book, especially a book of short stories. But yeah, like I said, I'm loving it. I'm not hating it at all. I'm just hating the fact that it's taking me so long to read, and then I'm in this big reading slump. But like I said, I'm slowly but surely getting out of it, I think. So there's that. And literally when I go to rate this, like after I read this book, when I go to review it on Goodreads, I'm going to like dock a point or like a star because it's taken me so long to read. Like, it's nothing about the book itself, because the book itself is amazing, like so good. And like every short story in that book so far has been great. But like, I'm gonna probably dock a star or a point because it's taking me so long to read, and because I was in this reading slump and I couldn't enjoy it as much. But like I said, it has nothing to do with the book, because the book itself is great and all the short stories are good. But yeah, I'm getting out of it. The reading slump, I mean. But anyway, the next book I'm going to try to read is, or hoping to get around to. By the way, these aren't in order. I'm just picking up books as I go. There's another book that is on this hopefuls list that I should probably take out of the bag now, because if I don't, I'm going to forget about it. I'm going to show that one last because I think out of any book in this list, that's the one I'm most excited for. That's not the book I was showing. This is Coming Home to Glendale Hall by Victoria Walters. I've heard nothing about this book, but I read the back of it and it sounds pretty good. So, no matter how far you go, home is where the heart is. Beth Williams hasn't been home for 10 years. After a teenage pregnancy, she ran away from her family in Scotland, but now she's finally returning to Glendale Hall. As she mends her broken family, Beth realizes Glendale never left her heart, and neither has Drew, Beth's first love. Will Beth be able to forgive her family for the past? What will Drew say when he discovers the secret she's been keeping? Can Glendale work its magic on Beth, or will she run away from it all over again? A charming, uplifting novel that will warm your heart, perfect for fans of Trisha Ashley, Debbie Johnson, and Kathy Bramley, who I have never heard of either one of those authors. But I'm sure this is going to be good. It sounds good anyway, so can't wait to read that one. And then, I've heard a couple things about this book. Now, it's not like, I haven't seen this like all over TikTok. But I'm going to read, or I'm going to try to get around to reading A Winter in New York by Josie Silver. Like I said, I haven't heard much about this, but what I have heard was really good so far. Or sounds really good. When Iris decides to move to New York City and to restart her life, she realizes she underestimated how big the Big Apple really is. All the nostalgic movies she'd watched with her mom while eating their special secret recipe gelato didn't quite do it justice. But Bobby, Iris' best friend, isn't about to let her hide away. He drags her to a famous autumn street fair in Little Italy, and as they walk along the food stalls, a little family-run gelateria catches her eye. Could it be the same shop that's in an old photo of her mother's? Curious, Iris returns the next day and meets the handsome Gio. I can already tell right now, just from reading the back of this, Iris is going to fall in love with Gio. That's usually how it goes. Who tells her that the shop is in danger of closing. His uncle, sole keeper of their family's gelato recipe, is recuperating from a stroke and can no longer remember it, so they can't make more. When Iris samples the last remaining batch, she realizes that their gelato and her gelato are one and the same. But how can she tell them she knows their secret recipe when she is not sure why Gio's uncle might have given it to her mother in the first place? Iris offers her services to help recreate the gelato and soon finds herself falling for Gio and his family. What did I say? But when Gio's uncle finally recovers, all the secrets Iris has been keeping threaten to ruin the new life and new love she's been building all winter long. Okay, that sounds really good. That's actually the first time I've read the back of it. I only got it, I can't remember where and when I bought this. I think it was at the hospital gift shop. But yeah, that's the first time I actually read the back of it, and it sounds incredible. So I'm very excited for that one now. Next, I'm going to read, again, get around to, or try to, The Christmas Postcards by Karen Swan. I'm doing it. The last book I read by her, I'm sorry, but it wasn't that good. I can't remember what it was called, but I really didn't like it. It was something about, it's a Christmas book, mind you, but it was something about like this blue bunny, I think. I really didn't like it. No offense to her. I'm sure this book might be pretty good and probably better than the other one. And I can't see it being worse than the other one because the other one I really did not like. So, like, how is this going to be worse? If anything, it's probably going to be better. And if it is worse, this might be the worst book of all time. But I'm hoping not because it sounds really good. Like, the Christmas postcards. Like, even that title alone just sold me. But, yeah. The Christmas Postcards by Karen Swan. I was kind of, like, putting this away because, one, the last book I read by her, I think it was by her, wasn't very good. To me, I didn't really like it. And two, her chapters are so long. Like, one of the books I read by her, or the last book I read by her, okay, I'm skimming through the chapters now and they don't seem that long, but I think the last book I read by her, one chapter was literally 30 pages, and I'm like, seriously? But yeah, this one, I'm more excited to read, and hopefully it will be better than the last one. Please, I'm praying. But the back of it says, it had been a make-or-break holiday for their marriage, but Natasha and Rob's rekindled romance is short-lived when their daughter's beloved soft toy disappears on the journey home. As Natasha comforts the distraught child, she turns to social media for help. Miraculously, the toy is found, but has become the lucky mascot of a man named Duffy, who is thousands of miles away, trekking in the Himalayan foothills. It already sounds way better. When Duffy promises to keep Natasha updated with pictures, the pair begin a correspondence that soon becomes more meaningful to both of them.